Hey everyone, Lazy Ben. Welcome to another week of game development. This week the plan is to start for the first time combat. We're going to leverage the system that we built last week. I made a video on that called NPC behavior. Be sure to check it out. We're going to apply NPC behavior to this little guy. This is Spidian and I made him on a previous project. This is the program that I use to author all my animations. It's called Spine. It's a really good program. You should check it out if you want to do 2D animation. The main animations that this guy's got is the idle animation, and he can walk, and there are 3 attacks. Attack long here. This is where he's meant to be able to fire his spike at the player. Medium, where he'll slash you with his spike, and attack short, where he'll bite you with his pincers. So the plan for today is to get this guy rendering in the game, and then we're going to work for the rest of the week building out this NPC behavior so we can start combat. It's going to be really exciting. I'm looking forward to it. As ever, I'll report back at the end of the day and I'll let you know what progress I made. But yeah, I'm very excited. Something really interesting is going to happen with the game this week, hopefully. So yeah, happy coding. Let's go. Hey everybody, it's the end of the day on Monday now. It was a productive day, as you can see. Spidian is in the game, he's walking around, he's on patrol. Importing a second type of animated rig into the game threw up a couple of problems with the animation system though, something that needed to be fixed. The main one being that Spidian was drawn quite a lot smaller than the hero, and there was no real way in the animation system to override the default scale. So what I decided to do, if we jump into the code, is create a separate structure for each type of rig, and this just holds the rig dependent data. So scale in the Hero Pro rig is different to scale in the Spidian rig, and this just means I can write one of these for every single type of animated rig that I want in the game, and I can just put in the specific data that the game needs that is different from the default. So if you look at the scale for the Spidian rig, you can see it's 0.025 compared to the 0.01 of Hero rig, which means that Spidian's actually 2.5 times bigger on screen. Another problem that I've noticed, if you go back to the game, is that the pathfinding will sometimes mean that Spidian might go through these crates here. The pathfinding uses this white circle here to determine where the Spidian is in the world, but if you see, Spidian's quite a bit bigger, and ideally I want it to use a rectangle like this green rectangle here, and I'd like to make sure that the rectangle doesn't go into this red collision region here. Right now that's not in the engine, so first thing tomorrow I think the plan is to get the pathfinding system working over these square or rectangular areas instead of these circular areas. So yeah, I'm going to head home now. I'm going to chill out. I'm going to think about how I might do this, and we'll come back tomorrow and see where it goes. Good morning everybody, it's Tuesday. Just got into the office. It's 9:54, just started up a stream. So the plan today is to work on the Spidian character, particularly his pathfinding. I want to be able to make sure that these rectangles don't cross over into these red collision zones. So it means extending the pathfinding system in the engine. So yeah, as ever, I'll report back and I'll let you know how I do. Hey everyone, it's the end of the day on Tuesday now, and I've spent the whole day working on the pathfinding problem where I had the Spidian walking through those crates. So the way I solved it was to use the structures that we created yesterday. I put in a get collision size for each of the rig types. All you would do is you'd say this was 4 wide and 2 high. And if we jump into the game, you'll see that the actual level data compiler will use those sizes to just pad around each collidable region in each room, and then the Spidian will actually use these white squares to determine the collision detection on his pathfinding instead of this region here, which would mean that the Spidian could never walk into this red region because the white squares don't allow it to do so. So I think that problem's solved. It took me all day, tried a few different attempts. I tried to do it just calculating every frame, this padding, and it worked, but it was too slow. But the way that this works is it's identical to the way it was working before, except we just have a few more of these collidable areas to test because it's been padded. Anyway, I'm going to go home, I'm going to chill out, and then tomorrow, hopefully, we can work on actually developing the Spidey behavior for combat. Good morning everyone, it's Wednesday, I've just got into the office. The plan for today is just to get a good start on combat using behaviour trees. I've got the editor open here and I've set up a situation where we can start developing combat with the Spidey, because the first thing that I want to do is have the Spidey go into cover. It needs to go and hide. Maybe its HP is low, maybe its character means it just likes to go and hide. But anyway, all that needs to get coded in using behaviour trees. So I've set up a situation where I've got two possible places that the Spidey could hide behind. Imagine if either hero stood there, the Spidey would want to go and hide behind these crates or maybe behind these barrels. For today, I'm just going to get started on that really, see how far we get. As ever, I'll let you know how we do and I'll report back. Alright, it's a little bit later now, a couple of hours later, and I've made a good start. If we open up Spidey's patrol here, you can see it's similar to Jenny's patrol that I've used in other videos. It just goes from location to location to location, and I've put a default behaviour on this patrol called behaviour combat. If we open the brain for behaviour combat, you can see it's just very simple. It's just got a root node, and then it's got this node, which is combat NPC find cover, and this is an action node, meaning that it's going to make Spidey and character do something. So if we run the game, you can see this behavior in action, and you can see that I've put a little bit of feedback here on the node to show that the Spidey character is activating this action node over and over again, and all the action node is telling him is to go and find cover at the best location for him. And the way that the location's worked out is using these collision cells that were created at the beginning of the week. It just basically draws a line from the hero location to each of the collision zones, and then it will just continue to look past until it finds a cell that's not part of these collision cells. And you can see there that it's highlighted this green cell as a candidate for cover, or this green cell as a candidate for cover. And the way that the algorithm currently works is it just picks the cover location that's closest to the Spidey. So you can see it's constantly walking towards it. And if I move here, you can see the cover location changes and the Spidey's location also changes. So he's constantly trying to move away from me. So the next thing I want to do is stop the Spidey and constantly trying to find cover, constantly firing this node. And I'm going to develop a second node, which is some kind of wait until a certain condition is satisfied. Because the way I want this to really work is the Spidey goes, finds cover, sits down, and then he'll stay in the cover until I get closer to him, and then he'll go off and he'll try and find more cover. So the plan is just to work on that wait behavior for the rest of the day. I'm not sure if I'll get it finished, but yeah, I'll let you know at the end of the day how far we get. Alright, so it's the end of the day now, and I've been working on this wait node for a couple of hours. It's nearly there. It's not quite fully implemented, so it will just wait forever currently. It doesn't actually listen for any conditions in which it doesn't have to wait anymore. But it's in the game, and the Spidey obeys it. I've attached it to a sequence node, so the way this will work now is it will come along, it will fire the combat NPC find cover node, and then once cover is found, it will go to the next node in the sequence, which is NPC conditional wait. Like I say, there's no conditions at the moment, it'll just wait forever. But the plan is maybe to use these conditions here as the conditions in which it doesn't have to wait anymore. So that's the plan. Might probably have to do that tomorrow. It's the end of the day now. I've basically run out of time. So I'll quickly show you the node tree in action. It happens quite quick. So the Spidean just finds cover there, and then he goes and he fires this wait node, and he's just waiting there now. So right now I'll just wait forever. There's no additional instructions. But yeah, like I said, the plan is to have conditions here. And one of the conditions will be, if I get too close to the Spidean character, he wants to go and find cover again. That's probably going to be the first thing I work on tomorrow. I've run out of time now. So I'm going to go home, I'm going to chill out for a bit. Then we'll be back tomorrow and we'll finish off this cover mechanic. Okay, so it's the end of the day on Thursday now, and I've been working on this action node, the conditional wait. I've added a couple more fields, so there's a minimum and maximum wait time now. 0 just means you want the NPC to wait forever. And then I've added these two groups here, which are the conditions that the node returns success or the conditions that the node returns fail. So if we wanted to construct that example I said yesterday where the Spidean goes into cover until we approach him and then he'll go and find cover again, we can add a failure condition. And if we select G condition 9, this is the distance from the action, which is Spidean, to the playable character. So if we select the current action node, so this is the place where Spidean is when this action is being performed, and we say it gets less than 5 meters away, then this node will return fail to the sequence, which means the sequence will end and then the tree will re-execute and he'll go back to this node and he'll go and find cover again. So I'll launch the game and we can see that the Spidean is executing this node and he'll go and find cover. But once he finds cover, he will just go to this node here, which is the wait. And the only condition which he'll stop waiting is this condition that we made here when he's less than 5 units away from the playable character, me. So if we walk towards the Spidean and we get within 5 meters of him, we can see that he will immediately stand up and he'll go and re-find cover again, because this node tree returned fail and then re-executed. So we've got the state we wanted. He'll just keep running away from us. So the plan for the next few days is to really develop this tree, write a few more actions and get Spidean moving around in quite a believable, unpredictable way. So it's probably going to take a few days, this, and the kids are going on holiday as well for school, so I'm not going to be coding as much the next few days. But yeah, I'll report back when we've developed this tree out a little bit more and I'll let you know my progress.
Steep hill, it's called.
Yeah.
Well, Lane, that's called.
Hey everyone, so it's actually a week later. I took a few days off, which was really nice, but I did work on the game. So this is now the current state of the Spideans combat tree. I worked on the selector nodes, so selectors mean select one or the other. And if you have a random selector, you can add weights to its children, and weights just affect the probability that each node will be picked. 100 and 100 just means there's equal probability that either node will be picked. This is the find cover weight sequence that we've been working on earlier, and I've just turned this off for now. I've set a condition false on it, which means that the only side of the tree that will execute is this side. So if I launch the game, you can watch the tree execute, but he'll go on his normal patrol, and if we get too close to him, he'll become hostile. So that happened because this node fired, which was set combat state, Spidean to become hostile if we get within 10 units from him. And then it flew to this node here, and this is a wait node, and he'll wait. So he's just going to wait there, hostile, in a threatening way, I suppose, until I'm further than 10 units away from him. The plan is to, if I then go even closer for him to attack, I haven't implemented that. I've just implemented the retreat phase. So if I go further than 10 units away, I'll go to this node, which is find cover. So he'll go and find cover, and then he'll wait. Once he's at cover, he'll wait there now for between 5 and 10 game minutes. There's a failure condition. If I go up to him again, he'll fail this, and he'll go back to the start of the tree, and he'll do one or the other. If I remove this condition on this sequence to allow the full tree to execute, and I relaunch the game, you can see that sometimes he'll go and find cover. So now he's going to go and find cover. And once he finds cover, he'll wait there. And then if I go and interrupt him, he chose this one now to become hostile. And he goes through this sequence now. So if we run away from him, he'll go and find cover again. So what we've got now is a situation where sometimes if you get too close to him, he'll go and find cover. Sometimes he'll become hostile. So that's a little bit of unpredictability. So the next thing I want to work on is actually making the Spidean attack me. So if he becomes hostile and I get even closer to him, he should attack me. But yeah, I'll give you an update when there's something more to show. Hey everyone. Okay, so I've been working on it for a few more days now, and the first part of combat I think is finished. So this is the finished tree for the first part of combat. When I say the first part, I mean just getting the Spidean to attack me and not respond to the attack in any way. That's the next job. But the first part is done. So the tree is made up of 3 main sections, and this third section here has got 2 subsections in it. So I'll just quickly explain the sections. So it evaluates from left to right. This one just takes care of the Spidean's hostile state if we leave the room mid-combat. I'll explain that in a minute. This one is hostile level 1, and this actually takes care of the attacks. I've created 3 new nodes here, and they're all the same type of node, which is NPC attack PC, which means non-playable character is going to attack the playable character. And you can assign attack levels. So this is attack level 0, this second one's attack level 1, and this third one is attack level 2. And the attack levels can mean anything in the game. It's NPC dependent. For the Spidean NPC, it just means it's 3 different attacks. It's got short, medium, and long attack. Right now, this red square here means that this node is disabled. So the long attack currently doesn't work because I haven't fully got all the animations ready for the long attack. I've also decorated the trees a little bit better, so you can actually label zones or sub-trees within the trees, and you can color code them. It just makes it a little bit easier to see. This roaming sub-tree here is the tree that we've been working on earlier in the video, where we've got the flee and the hostile level 0 path. So this is when he goes and flees to cover, and this is when he becomes hostile, but he doesn't actually attack you yet. This just basically executes all the way down there. If it gets to the return node, it goes back to the top, and the return node will be fired after we've set Spidean to hostile level 1. So Spidean will be hostile level 1, which means he'll come back up to the root and he'll select the hostile level 1 path where he does all his attacking. So I'll give you a quick demo now. I'll launch the game and I'll just move this down here. So we can see he's in his flee path. I've also decorated the nodes a little bit better so you can see which path he's taken. These white areas, these white borders here show you the path that he's taken. Then he's going to go and wait. So right now he's waiting up here after his flee. If I go and interrupt him, he's going to become hostile, and this is where he's doing his attacks now. So he's in this section of the tree doing the medium attack, and he's attacking me over and over again. And if I move, you'll see he'll chase after me, he'll try and attack me. And if I do go too close, he'll do his short attack, which was the bite there, and then he'll come back and he'll do his medium attack. Once I leave the room, if he's in a hostile state, we'll start executing this final part of the tree, which just waits. It just waits, and he's going to say, if you leave the room for 10 seconds, we'll set the Spidey's combat state to be none, so we'll reset his combat state. So we've been out of the room for more than 10 seconds. We'll go in the room and you can see that he's calm again. If we make the Spidey hostile again, and he'll want to attack us, and then we leave the room and we come back in and 10 seconds hasn't elapsed, he's still going to be hostile, so he'll still want to attack us. So that's what this third part of the tree is doing here. It's determining how long we've left the room for. And if we've left the room for a certain amount of time, he'll reset the Spidey to not be angry. But anyway, that's the first section of combat done. It's taken maybe 10 days to implement this from start to finish. And the next part of combat, of course, is what happens to the playable character when we get attacked. But I'm going to have to leave that for the next video because this video is already really long. So yeah, that's everything for this video. Tune into the next video. The next video will be all about what happens when we receive hits from NPCs during combat. We might even get onto the playable character attacking the Spidey as well, and what happens to the Spidey. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, then please give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.